This is going to be an Anne Rice extravaganza. Hello YouTubers, this is cessnaace back again with another My Comic Book Collection, 30 More Comics video. Now before we get started, I need to shout out and mention and thank my latest Patreon supporter. That would be at patreon.com/cessnaace, link in the description box. And I am referring to Andrew J.M. Andrew, thank you very much for your support. And of course, I continue to appreciate the support that I continue to get from my other Patreon supporters. And of course, I appreciate my subscribers, because without my subscribers, it would be pointless to do videos. Now, every comic, as I alluded to at the beginning, that I'm going to be showing in this video is based on a work by Anne Rice. Now, in the previous video, I had left off with issue 5 of a 12-issue comic book adaptation by Innovation of the Anne Rice novel Interview with the Vampire. So we pick up with issue 6. Now, I don't know why I didn't look it up, but I keep thinking this was turned into a film, and for some reason I'm thinking that this film, if it exists, has Tom Cruise in it. Maybe you can tell me. Alright, this is issue 7. Issue 8. I really miss Innovation. If I didn't already say that in a previous video. Alright, issue 9. Issue 10. Move it away from the microphone. They all say this on the back: not intended for children. And some of them have it on the front as well, underneath where it says Innovation. This one, however, does not. Alright, that was 10. Issue 11. And issue 12. Now, the next comic book adaptation of an Anne Rice novel that I'm going to show you is a more recent miniseries published by IDW, done in 6 issues instead of 12. And unlike the previous series that I just showed you, Interview with the Vampire, I've always had a complete set of this series. This is issue 1. And as this is a more recent series, unlike the Innovation releases, which had a cover price of $2.50, these have a cover price of $3.99. Issue 2. Yes, I know what comes after 1, but I wanted to double check and make sure that I had the correct issue lined up. As there were some wrinkles in the bag, I wanted you to see that it wasn't the cover that was displaying the wrinkle pattern. It's interesting that IDW would release something like this because they are also now the publisher of the Disney comics, like Uncle Scrooge. Of course, those Disney titles have been published by so many publishers over the years. I have many of them, but I don't have the earliest ones published by Dell and Gold Key / Whitman. I do, however, have those that were published by Gladstone. Then from Gladstone, they went to Disney, who self-published them for 3 years. And then the license went back to Gladstone. And then it went to Gemstone, I believe, was next. And now IDW. Sorry I got sidetracked there. That happens with me. I really like this cover, by the way. This is issue 3. And as a recent commenter to the previous video I did, let's see, Callus708, he mentioned that his mother had told him that she had tossed out his comic book collection at one point, but it turned out his father had placed his comic book collection in the garage. Well, similar thing happened to me, although I didn't wind up with a happy ending. I had a large collection of Star Treks and Twilight Zones from Gold Key and Whitman, and those are all gone now. I'd love to get them back, but the Star Treks especially are pricey. Okay, this is issue 5. And there I go, blathering on again, off topic. But, you know, as I believe I've mentioned, ADHD. Alright, and issue 6. Now, the next Anne Rice series I have was published by Innovation. Again, a 12-issue comic book adaptation. However, I have not as yet acquired the missing issues that I need to complete this series. Anne Rice's The Queen of the Damned. Issue 4. Issue 5. For those of you who have been watching my channel, if you go back to before I came back, you'll remember how bad the sound was at times. I'm using a much better microphone now, but I need to be careful because I've got it angled right this way. So it picks up the sound of me opening the bags, which is why I try to move them away so it's not really loud. Okay, I like the cover on issue 6. Speaking of covers, here I go again. As my Patreon supporters know anyway, I have been purchasing a lot of comics from Things from Another World. And what I've taken to doing is on comics that have more than one cover variation, I choose my 2 favorite variations. Issue 7. Issue 8. So this series is mostly complete. It's just missing a few issues. Issue 9. I don't have issue 10. That mouse cursor is distracting me. So we move to issue 11. Kind of would like that cover too. Don't have issue 12. Now this next series is a comic book adaptation done in 12 issues of Anne Rice's novel, The Tale of the Body Thief. Unfortunately, I only have one issue, and that is the first one. Cover price $2.95 from Sicilian Dragon. This is cool. Photo on the back. Now I believe this is the only comic that I have from Sicilian Dragon. Featuring exclusive original material written by Anne Rice. You know, one of the series I have, she wrote the foreword. Now, I know I already showed 2 pages, but what the hey. Now we go back to Innovation and another 12-issue adaptation of an Anne Rice novel. This one was until really recently, or I should say very recently, one that was incomplete. But I bought a lot on eBay, and as a result I wound up with some duplicate copies. You'll see which ones those are in a moment. This is an adaptation of Anne Rice's The Vampire Lestat. And this is issue 1. Issue 2. And issue 2. Issue 3. Issue 4. And issue 4. I can tell by the way it's taped in the back that this was most probably the copy I originally had, or already had. Just scared my cat. Black cat, how appropriate. Vampires and black cats. I know witches, but oh, please don't let that happen. The tape got caught on the cover. Fortunately, it didn't damage it. Now, all of the Anne Rice comics that I already had, I bought at Books A Million in the used comics section, except for the IDWs. I'll mess with that later. Issue 5. And issue 5. I'm only counting issues where I have duplicates as one comic for the purposes of this video. Issue 6 and issue 6. So you should be seeing a total of 30 comics. Freaky. Issue 7. And issue 8. Make sure that issue 8's not the next one in line. No. Okay, so next time we pick up where we left off this time, unless in the interim something comes in that falls off numerically ahead of where we are now. However, I don't anticipate that happening. Now, watch it happen. Now, please consider, if you have already done so, hitting the subscribe button and the thumbs up. And until next time, stay awesome.